You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Part 2 of our house calls. This is where we answer our community's questions each and every Saturday and Sunday. Always look forward to these shows. We answered some fantastic questions yesterday. I'm actually just about to open that document where my team has compiled all of the 5,000 plus questions we've answered over the past couple of years. It's always amazing. It's kind of like anything that you do in life. When you are doing it in the moment, it's not that big of a thing. But as you look back and you accumulate basically growth, what I've seen at least is that we've been able to answer at least 5,000 of our community's questions. So, at the end of the day, I can say, hey, if this was able to help one other person out there, how tremendous would that be? How great would it be to be able to give someone a new starting point, an alternative viewpoint, and something that may have been missing that they could not find on their own? So excited about that, of course, as always, going through that. If you are new to the show, we answer all of the questions as they come in every Saturday and Sunday. And again, we're about 8 weeks or so behind right now. Questions are being answered today from December 9th, 10th, and we'll probably get through the 12th today. So if you've asked your question before that, your question has been answered on a previous Cabral House Call that you can find at stephencabral.com/podcasts. And if you are waiting for your question, of course, it will be answered in the order that it comes in. Please always do feel free, if it's a customer service question, just email support@equilibriumnutrition.com. If it is a private practice question, you can do the same thing, how to apply. And then if it's a question about, hey, how do I find an answer for this? You can search your question and keyword at stephencabral.com/podcasts. And you can also feel free to ask that at cabralsupportgroup.com, which is our free Facebook group for our community, approaching 8,000 members strong. All right, let's get right into these questions. I think we answered about 8 yesterday. I want to do somewhere between 5 and 10 questions today, just depending on our time. I try to keep my podcast to about 22 minutes. Sometimes I do go over, but of course, always with your best interests in mind. All right, Dar is up first. What are your thoughts as using ginseng-based tea or supplement for extra energy? Gracias. All right. Well, Dar, happy to help on this. So ginseng is an amazing product. We've been using it in Ayurvedic medicine and in traditional Chinese medicine for many thousands of years. And it is great for circulation. It's great for the adrenals, the HPA axis. It's great as an adaptogen, which means that if you start to get too low, it can boost you back up, but it won't boost you back up so that you're full of stress. It's also good for the immune system. So we use it in our adrenal energy support. So if you want to check out that product, remember, I believe in synergies. So when you're using an herbal-based product, I would much rather recommend a product with ginseng, rhodiola, ashwagandha, eleuthero. Those are all great products that act as adaptogens, herbal adaptogens. And when you use them together, you get the synergy, meaning like the benefits of all of them working together. So you don't have to megadose on one in particular. In terms of kind of blood cleaning, that type of thing, usually it's used with golden seal. That's a little bit different. That's, again, more of a Chinese-based herb, traditional Chinese medicine. But overall, I'm a fan of it. I'm an advocate of it, and I do recommend it in many of its forms, whether it's Siberian ginseng. We use a different type of Korean form of ginseng in our Fatlocity weight loss system, which has been shown excellent for the metabolism there. So again, if you need energy, I would say adrenal energy support. If you need weight loss, I would say use it in the Fatlocity system. Those are at equilibriumnutrition.com. All right, John's up next. Hi, doctor. Quick question. I'm wanting to do the genetic tests, but it's unavailable. Are you going to be doing them again? If not, what would you recommend? Thanks for all your knowledge, John from Australia. Jon, appreciate you writing in. And I actually did. I took that down about 8 months ago or so. And the reason is that I honestly did not have any more time, no more openings left in my schedule. And I was the only one on my team doing the genetic test readouts. So I will be training another practitioner on how to do the genetic test readings and recommendations. So that will come out for sure in the future. Stay tuned. Probably halfway through 2020, I would say, is when we'll be bringing that back out. I don't love a lot of genetic tests right now, and here's why. They're gimmicky. I do not like gimmicky in medicine. I really don't. So I don't like gimmicky lab tests where it says, like, oh, find out your genetics and find out the right probiotic for you. Well, it just doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. You need to look at a person's current constitution, and then you need to look at their genetics. So it's the difference between what we call a genotype. That's your genetics. That's who you are. That's your Prakriti in Ayurveda. But then there's your phenotype. It's who you become. It's your epigenetics, what has expressed itself, and it's called your Prakriti and your phenotype. So that, again, we need to know who the person is today, like what's gone wrong or right, and then we know here's the genetics, because there's a lot of things within your genetics of bad things that could go wrong, right? But here's the thing. Many people never see the expression of that because they're following a good, healthy nutrition plan, exercise. They're following the de-stress protocol that I talked about in the rain barrel effect. So, Jon, great question. Vivian's up next. Keep in mind the longer questions, you can read them in full at stevencabral.com/1465. stevencabral.com/1465 for all of the longer questions. All right, next question's from Vivian. Hello, I just listened to the Faster Way to Fat Loss podcast, and you were so interesting. I did find the Faster Way over the summer, and while it was good, I didn't see the results I was hoping for. I just had a bunch of blood work done and want to know if you do any consulting. I'd love to have you look at the results of my blood work and let me know what you think. Basically, I'm 45. I've been steadily gaining weight over the past year. I'm not overweight, but if I continue on this path, I will be overweight soon. I do 3 to 5 times a week of combination of strength training, running, walking, some yoga. I eat healthy whole food, but I do enjoy wine when I eat out once a week or so, and I have a sweet tooth, but it's minimal. I drink 1 cup of coffee a day with cream. My doctor says all my numbers are within range. I'm so frustrated. I don't know what to do. I do intermittent fasting, but I'm wondering if it's hurting me. I try to do the 16-8, but it's hard for me. I find I'm starving myself after 13 or 14-hour fast. Anyway, would love to get your feedback if you do that. Thanks, Vivian. All right, so Vivian, 2 things. One is we give all this information away for free on the Cabral concept. So I want to see if I can find a couple podcasts here for you. 1441 is a great one for you. Should you exercise if stressed out? And I would love you to also look at the episode 1427 on the Ayurvedic exercise and meal timing tips to lose weight. Because you're right, not everyone does great with full 16 hours of intermittent fasting. I find more people are around where you are, the 13, 14-hour mark. I really do. Unless they stop eating around 5 p.m. at night. Then they can go and make it until, what's the math on that? 7 and then till 8 in the morning. Yeah, so then that's 16 hours, right? Close to it at least. All right, so here's the thing. I myself, I'm about 14 hours intermittent fasting overnight. That's the best time for me. About 6 o'clock at night, 3-4 hours before bed until about 8 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. That's really my sweet spot right there. And that way, when I start to get into my day, I'm fueling my body and not putting myself in more of a stress, survival, catabolic-based position. Again, it works for me, but I start my day with a bang. I start my day really kicking things off with high energy, whether it's recording, meeting with team. If you ease into your day, different story. You can ease into it and you could fast longer for sure. So here's the thing though. The Faster Way, we partner with them. I'm on their scientific advisory board and I make recommendations. And so you wrote in on 12/12, but you would have seen in January that we actually ran, and hopefully you took advantage of this. It's called the stress, mood, and metabolism test, the thyroid adrenal hormone, that if people plateau during the Faster Way, we actually test their hormone levels. That's the lab that you need. Honestly, the Big 5 would be amazing for you to run, but if you could only run one lab, you would run the thyroid adrenal hormone, also called the stress, mood, and metabolism test. hands down, then you won't even have to do really consulting. You'll get a consultation included with that. Myself or the medical director oversees your actual plan, and you get on a call with one of our certified team members and health coaches and integrative health practitioners to take you through the plan. So Vivian, that's exactly what I recommend, because you still need the exercise, still need good nutrition, but we'll be able to customize this a bit more for you. And of course, if you ever want to become a private wellness client, of course, you're able to do that. Simply email support@equilibriumnutrition.com. Say, I'd like to apply to be a private wellness client. That is actually 3 consultations, a full intake, really listening to your story. We send out for labs based on what's going on with your symptoms. And then the next consultation is going through those labs, a full personalized wellness plan, includes your supplements, includes your nutrition, whole food, includes your meal plans, like all of that great stuff, exercise. And then we do a follow-up just to make sure that you're taken care of and that if we have to make any adjustments, we do that. So that's the private practice. I mean, it's the highest level of service for sure. And I don't want to talk you out of that. You are welcome to apply for that as well. Okay, Kristen's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I listen to your podcasts, often while working out, and I enjoy all the great info on healthcare, etc. I've learned so much, and my husband and I are looking forward to doing your 21-day detox in January. I have a little beef. I got to get off my chest. Just kidding. I did want to mention, though, after listening to episode 741 of the podcast, that Jazzercise is a great workout. I'm 35, and I've tried many different types of exercise, and I've found that so much of what is out there is just difficult to sustain. I tried Jazzercise since I was always drawn to dance. Each class is 55 minutes, 20-30 minutes of cardio. You can also adjust your level of difficulty by how much oomph you put into it. I realize how well this is working for me, and I decided to go running one day without any training just to mix it up. Ran 1.5 miles, faster than I ever ran. I think I could go run even further, but it was the dead of summer, and it was really hot. I tell you that my cardio endurance has reached a new level. Anyway, just wanted to mention this since you like knowing what's out there and getting information about all types of diets and exercise. Maybe you give Jazzercise a second glance. Who knows? You may even recommend it to someone. Thanks and Merry Christmas. Kristen, I appreciate you writing in. Amazing. I love that. I love being called out on that. So I have no problem with Jazzercise. I make fun of it because it was developed in like the 70s and 80s. And, now we have high intensity interval training and we've got all these other things. But I'm with you, Kristen. I really am. That if you love to do Jazzercise, or you love to do Zumba, or you love to do a hip-hop dance class, I highly recommend it. So I may have joked around about it before, but I couldn't recommend it enough if you enjoy doing it and it gets you moving for that average of a half hour or so a day of exercise, 3.5 hours a week. So if you're doing a 55-minute class, well, you could be getting right there. You do 3 of those a week, you're at 3 hours or at least close to it. So, all kidding aside, I love the type of exercise that people do. And if you love Jazzercise, I have nothing really against it. I honestly don't. Keep up the great work, Kristen, and let us know inside of CabralSupportGroup.com how your 21-day detox went in January with your husband. I'd love to hear that feedback. I love seeing the before and after photos. I love hearing about the success stories. And with today being February 11th, I'm sure you're probably already completed that. So thank you again for writing in. Kami is up next, Kami. Hi, Dr. Ball. Thanks for everything you do. I spent a lot of money on supplements and a local naturopathic doctor, including blood and hormone tests. I have some gut dysbiosis and severe estrogen dominant symptoms. I'm also a college student and found myself in a lot of credit card debt. I finally had to crack down and make a tight budget. I'm eating mostly plant-based, dairy-free, gluten-free. However, my healing fluctuates because I don't always stick to the guidelines 100%. I'm currently taking your multivitamins, probiotics, and omega-3s, some digestive enzymes, ester C, DIM, evening primrose, and some herbs to support my liver and menstruation. I have some supplements to tide me over for a while, but I'm wondering, what do I do when I run out? My monthly budget for supplements will probably be $20. Would some lower quality vitamins do anything, or do I need to just be very mindful of my diet to get all my nutrients? Also, I was wondering if you have any tips with groceries. I try to get organic when I can, buy some things, and have to pick and choose. My grocery store allows or has gluten-free oats, organic oats in bulk section, but not gluten-free organic. Is it better to go with gluten-free or just get the organic? Any tips you have for staying healthy on a budget would be much appreciated. Thanks. Thank you for writing in. Appreciate it. Totally get where you're coming from. I remember this to a T. I set a budget when I was in college of $150 or $160 a month for supplements. And I know that seems like a lot, and especially for a college kid, it was a lot of money. So I used to work in college to pay for my supplements to keep trying to get myself well. But what I had to do is I said, hey, if it doesn't fit within the $160, which it was basically like $150 because I said $3 a day, or $5 a day, sorry. That's what I did. And I ate at the cafeteria at school. I didn't eat out when a lot of my friends were eating out. And honestly, that's what I set aside. And I bought them at the start of the month. So I'd have them for the month. The money was already gone, so I didn't have to worry about it. And then I cut back in other areas. If your monthly budget is $20, you're not going to be able to get any supplements, not to be rude or anything like that, because I'm not trying to be, but you're not going to be able to get any supplements for $20. Nothing worthwhile. I mean, there's a couple things like a balanced zinc or a vitamin D. Like those things are great to take, no doubt about it. But what I would say is this: if you can only do one supplement, it's the daily nutritional support powder, hands down. And here's why. I'm going to give you the reason why. It's $2 or $2.50 a day, very inexpensive, and it could replace a lot of your breakfast. So now it's also making up for a meal. That's how I justified it in college as well. I would get a protein-based powder. We didn't have such thing as an all-in-one, like the daily nutritional support back then, but that's what I did, and that was like, okay, that's my breakfast. But remember, I could eat breakfast for free at the cafeteria. It was already paid for as part of my tuition, so I had to count it as part of my supplements. So for you, it's going to contain detox, electrolytes, all of your B vitamins. It's going to contain 15 grams of vegan protein, everything you need. So if you only do one product, it's the daily nutritional support. And then try to eat some fish when you're at school for your omega-3s, ideally the lower mercury ones. You could tune into a podcast for that. Eat more cruciferous vegetables, where you'll be able to get your DIM-based product for liver detoxification for higher levels of estrogen. So there you go. Vitamin C is not too expensive, so you'll be able to get that for like $1 a day. And then the probiotics you wouldn't necessarily be able to get. That's about $1.50 a day. So hopefully that helps. And then again, with grocery food shopping, biggest thing is this: do not eat it or buy organic if it's part of the Dirty Dozen. If you don't know the Dirty Dozen, head over to stevencabral.com/podcasts and type in Dirty Dozen. And you'll find out. Always, I do the updated lists every single year. So please do check that out. Then the Clean 15, you could buy non-organic if you had to. Of course, organic is better. There's less pesticides, of course, but there's also typically more nutrients inside. So can't recommend that enough. And at least that's a good place to get started. Thank you for writing in. Totally understand what you're going through. I don't know if it fits within your schedule to get a part-time job. It's what I end up doing. It's not the right choice for everyone. So I'm certainly not saying you need to do that to pay for supplements. I'm just thinking about it like, what if you could work a couple hours a week and that might help you with your healing journey? You need to do what's best for you, and we're here to support you either way. All right, Simon is up next. Yes, we have time for one more question. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I have some questions on perfecting my post-workout shakes. I'm a fit Vata Pitta, wanting to put on lean muscle and increase overall health and longevity. What would you recommend as a healthy powdered carb to use in post-workout for muscle recovery and gain? I previously used maltodextrin, but stopped because basically it's sugar. Then I use waxy maize starch, which seemed good, but it's corn-based. Then I transitioned away from carbs altogether and started using low carb, no carb. Now I've listened to your podcast and understand a reasonable amount of carbs before or after workouts may benefit my gains. You recommended a fruit smoothie. However, I need a pre-mixed powder, which I'm happy to formulate myself in bulk. I present my non-carb mix using grass-fed whey, collagen peptides, BCAAs, glutamine, spirulina. I care more about the results than the flavor. Any recommendations you could recommend? What are your thoughts on waxy maize or as options? How important is it to include antioxidants straight after a workout? I've heard some say antioxidants actually dampen some of the positive stressors of the workout. Okay. Simon, happy to answer these questions. Thank you for writing in. So one is I've already given on a previous podcast, post-workout nutrition. So I'd love you to head on over to stevencabral.com. I'm going to try to type this in myself, see if it pops up. And let's see if we can find it. All right. So, and if not, again, just head on over to cabralsupportgroup.com, ask the group there, and they'll find it for post-workout nutrition. So let's see if we can find it. Probably a lot of shows. We talked about house calls, pre and post-workout nutrition done right. Episode 650, my friends. episode 650. We found it. All right. So it's that easy, though. If you go to stevencabral.com/podcast, type in your keyword. I just typed in post-workout, and I found that show on how many carbs you should be doing based on whether you need to lose weight, maintain weight, or gain weight. So that will help you, because most likely if you're looking to put on muscle mass, but you have a little bit of body fat, you'll do your carbs after your workout. I mean, the healthiest thing is this. This is an honest recommendation. Healthiest thing is this. Bring a banana or bring fruit with you for after your workout. Eat that first and then do your protein shake, your daily nutritional support, whatever you want to do. Okay, that's the highest recommendation. Now, you are talking about processed carbs no matter what. No matter what. Now, this is not a recommendation I typically make, but if you wanted to go with an organic, lower glycemic fruit juice, like a blueberry juice, a pomegranate, a cranberry, I mentioned blueberry already, cherry, if I didn't mention that, which is great for post-workout as well, nitric oxide, antioxidants, etc. You could do that as well. Like, how many carbs are you really looking for? 30? Well, that's 8 ounces of juice. So you're already getting a processed carb no matter what. That's why I recommend whole fruit after your workout. Hands down, best thing. Trust me. You can put an apple in your bag. You can put a pear in your bag. You can put a banana in your bag. You can do something like that. That's the best, okay? So next up, I would say an organic fruit juice. That's what I would do. I would just use that over corn-based starch. I really would. I mean, are you going to get a glycemic spike from it? Yes, because you don't get the fiber with the fruit. You don't get all that. It's also post-workout, so you probably won't get as much spike because you're going to use it to fill back up. Well, you're going to bring up your blood sugar in your bloodstream if it's low. Then you're going to fill up glycogen stores. Then you're going to use it for your muscles. So I wouldn't be as worried, especially with the Vata Pitta. And then antioxidants after the workout. No, usually your antioxidants are earlier in the day and then like that night for dinner. So I did a podcast on that as well. Should you be taking higher loads of vitamin C after workout or higher antioxidants, not food-based, but like supplement-based? And the answer is no. You take the larger doses of antioxidants if you're taking them in the morning and then at night, but not necessarily after your workout, because actually it could hurt the repair-based process. That's unbiased research. Like, I love nutritional supplements. I love high antioxidant foods and all that, but actually best done hours away from your workout. So hopefully that was helpful, Simon. Thank you, everyone, for writing in. We did it almost right on time at the 22-minute mark. So as always, really appreciate you tuning into the Cabral Concept. Love answering your questions. And I look forward, of course, to tomorrow's new topic, which is a Mindset and Motivation Monday. Hopefully you're tuning in each day. And of course, if the podcast is helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.